Hey friends, we're back, and this week we're talking about Western Europe. And before we get into it, we're going to kind of define what countries are in Western Europe, at least for us. If you talk to one person, they're going to have one idea. If you talk to another person, they're going to have another idea. Kind of depends on their background, where they're coming from, and what kind of tools or terms they're using to define it. So, according to the CIA, there's 7 countries in Western Europe: Ireland, UK, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Monaco, the city-state of Monaco, and then France, right? Um, you know, that's perfectly fine. We did already talk about the UK, and I'll be honest, I kind of like we've been doing so far. This is kind of the Northern Europe. This is kind of keeping the British Isles separate. So yeah, I can see this obviously, but usually when we divide up regions like this, we do it a couple different ways. We could do it historically or politically, and that's usually the way we do it. Um, we could do it geographically, sorry. And that's if there's major mountains, seas, things like that to divide a different area. And then we could also maybe do it by economic factors, GDP, things like that. Um, all right, so if we did it historically, politically, obviously we got all the countries tied with Russia on the Eastern Bloc, and then we've got the Western countries tied to the Western Bloc. That's a pretty oversimplified version. Um, the problem with most of these is that oftentimes countries will get double counted between north, south, east, west. Like Spain, I'll just put Spain in there. Obviously, it's very west, and it's also very south. And so depending on how you want to do it, you might double count those. And for our class, we're only looking to talk about each country once. Geographically, we've got the Alps here. We've got obviously the Mediterranean Sea. We've got the Channel there. So that kind of, for me, that splits off the UK a little bit. I know here's a one map that somebody came up with, putting Northern Europe here, putting Finland, or I'm sorry, Norway, Sweden, and Finland with the Western European part. Southern European was really just down here by Albania, things like that. Central Europe was Poland. Yeah, so you get the gist. Depending on who makes the map and who wants to make the decisions, they can kind of split it how they want. Um, yeah, I guess I don't necessarily agree with that. Economically, again, it's about where you draw the line. So we can include Spain, France, Germany. Germany's obviously the big economic power here with the UK. But do you really include, Monaco in there? It's a very rich country. Lots of rich people live there because of the tax laws, but as far as the GDP goes, it wouldn't even put it on the map compared to like Germany, France, things like that. Um, yeah, so I guess to break it down for the purposes of our class, the 7 countries that we're going to be talking about in this Western European unit are the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, and Austria. So we got them right here, and they're all kind of clustered. You could almost call them the Central European, depending on how. I mean, oftentimes over this area, people talk about Central Europe, but when this map is made this way, your eye goes to the center of the map, which is kind of located here. Um, for me, Spain's kind of in the southern half, and then we did talk mostly about the Eastern Bloc countries. We will talk about Greece and a few of these others in the south as well. So that's it for now. Take care. So we'll talk soon.